or piece here, talking about how Trump may come to regret his January 6th pardons. Walk us through your argument, with one reason being, I believe, it's not like these pardoned convicts are simply going to go away quietly into the night.
Yeah, Jonathan, I think that is actually the marquee point here. But just to level set with some facts that you and much of your audience know, 600 people were charged with assaulting or resisting officers. 170 plus were charged with offenses involving a deadly weapon or serious injuries to officers. The polling around January 6th, despite what Trump and his allies have said, has always generated a large bipartisan majority of people who disapprove of what happened that day. That is still true. The numbers are lower among Republicans, but across the country as a whole, that is still true. Large numbers of people, some around 60+%, already opposed Trump's plans to do these pardons. These defendants are now going to be in public forever, right? Stuart Rhodes, Enrique Tarrio, the QAnon shaman. These people are already out in public saying, disturbing things. Mm-hmm. Jackson Reffitt, who was a witness against his father in the first January 6th case that went to trial, was on air talking to one of your colleagues a day or two ago, I think Chris Jansen, talking about how he has been getting death threats in the wake of the pardons. Last but not least, in general, violent offenders in the federal criminal justice system go on to commit more violent offenses. Roughly 2/3 of them will engage in some form of recidivism. And who knows what that recidivism might look like in this context. A lot of these people were, of course, all involved with a political crime. And Trump has now sent a very disturbing message to those people and his supporters, which is effectively that if you engage in political violence on my behalf, it is okay. And I don't think this is the last of what we're going to hear from these people. And we're going to see civic society, the media, nonprofits, universities following these people now that they're back in society.
Well, I think you're exactly right, too. This is going to be you're going to have this continuing to follow the administration around, following Republicans around. Because, as you said, you had one person saying after pardoned, I'm going to go out and get some MFing guns. Of course, we just played, threats of retribution. And what is, again, so bitterly ironic for me as a conservative is that conservatives have long said, what you said right there, violent criminals need to be locked up because violent criminals will come out and create even more crimes. Earlier this morning, when we were talking about the deportation of illegal immigrants who committed crimes, I talked about Giuliani's broken windows theory that has always split. There's always been a divide, and conservatives have always believed you get people that are committing the small crimes that will have a cumulative impact and stop huge crime waves. Here you have people committing violent acts against law enforcement officers coming out saying, hey, thanks for the pardon. I'm buying guns. Basically, we're seeking retribution. And you're right. This is going to stay in the news. And forget lefties, forget righties, forget ideology, forget college professors. Forget think tanks. Americans are going to see this, and it's going to have a negative impact on their view of Donald Trump, of the administration, of the Republican Party, especially if they don't speak out against the violence.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, this is not going to be a one-day or a one-week story. And I think Trump is beginning his second term with a very unpopular policy. And this isn't the first time Trump has begun a term in office with unified control of the government and coming in with a whole bunch of unpopular things, a whole bunch of bravado. And what happened in 2018 was that the House flipped. And, I just think that, the bravado that we're hearing from Trump and his allies is just that. It's a bit of a posture. And I think in this particular case, as the facts and information continues to drip out to the public about what these pardoned defendants actually did, what they are currently doing now, and what they may do in the future, I expect this decision will become even more unpopular.
Well, the new piece is online now for Politico. Senior writer for Politico magazine, Ankush Kaduri. Thank you very